Hello, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Woo! Welcome in tonight. Welcome in. Welcome in. I am just so excited to have you all join us tonight. We are in for an amazing treat tonight. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you for being here. We're going to get started in about 60 seconds. So I'm going to say to you, grab your favorite beverage, whether it's water, tea, coffee, or anything else. Grab your favorite beverage. Grab your favorite snack, because tonight our fireside chat will be lit. Can I say that? Come on now. Our fireside chat will be lit tonight, and I am just so excited that each of you have joined us. So we're going to give it another 60 seconds, and we will get ready to get started. If you want to grab a pencil or a pen and a piece of paper, that'll be good as you're joining us live tonight. Grab you something to write with, something to write on tonight. Your favorite beverage, your favorite snack, something to write with, and we will get this show on the road. This fireside chat, as I said, is going to be lit. I'm sorry, I'm excited. Can y'all tell? But we'll be back to join you all in just a moment. Thank you so much, and we look forward to this conversation tonight. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Thank you for being with us tonight. We are ready for our fireside chat. I hope you are ready, as we are ready to present to you and bring this to you. We are so excited to have you all join us tonight. You that are online and watching us, to our pastors and guests who are at Mount Olive UMC in Noonan. Woo! Welcome tonight. Thank you all for coming and being in the house to watch this virtual fireside chat tonight as we focus on self-care. It is a topic that has gotten lots of energy and lots of feedback behind it, but tonight we have the absolute best in the house. I mean, I'm just saying. So get ready. Go ahead and grab your favorite beverage, grab your favorite snack. If you are at Mount Olive UMC, you are eating salmon or chicken tonight. Yes, it's a whole meal spread out for you. But also grab something to write with and some paper, and prepare yourself to take some notes tonight, because you are in for an amazing time. I am First Lady Teresa Thompson. I am the Faith and Technology Manager here at Faircount. And I am just excited, I hope you can tell, about being here and being able to bring this conversation to you tonight with our resident therapist, Dr. Meag-gan O'Reilly. Woo! She'll be coming to the stage in just a moment. We are excited about that. But welcome to our sacred space tonight. Tonight, our time will be interactive and a safe space that you can share. Our online audience, you will be able to participate by using your chat feature. You'll be able to comment and leave some comments for us that we will share. You'll be able to share your thoughts and feelings and answer these questions that we're going to pose to you on tonight. Happy Clergy Appreciation Month. Woo, woo. It is October and it is the time set aside that we can celebrate our pastors. How beautiful are the feet of those who preach the gospel. Thank you to all of our pastors and to all that you do. We certainly appreciate you and everything that you do. Thank you for joining tonight. This is your night. It is for you and for the laity too. So if you are a member of a church, you can take some things in your bag back to the church and share what Dr. Meag-gan will share with us tonight in this fireside chat. So welcome again to Rest, Renew, Reclaim, prioritizing self-care for Black clergy, the ministry of self-care. It's a whole ministry, y'all, and I'm so excited. I do want to take care of a couple of housekeeping things. Again, make sure you have your favorite drink. Make sure you have your favorite snack and something to write with tonight because you will need to take some notes, okay? I'm just telling you in advance. But also, I want to do a big shout out and a thank you to Reverend Yolanda Colton and the Mount Olive United Methodist Church family who opened their doors for us tonight to be able to have some pastors in person. And so thank you so much for doing that, Pastor. We certainly appreciate you. We appreciate Lady T and Lady T's Eats provided our meal tonight. Thank you so much for that. They eating good. I'm just saying, I'm going to get my plate when it's over. Uh, so let's practice first that you know how to use this comment feature on YouTube or Facebook. Go ahead and drop in the chat for us and let us know where you are watching us from tonight. Where are you watching us from? And let us see who is online and where you're watching us from. So you can get some practice tonight because you're going to need that as we move forward into our discussion on tonight. So, without further ado, let's kick this thing off right. It's a fireside chat, and we are ready to begin. And so, what I would like to do is bring to the stage my colleague, my partner in Christ. I call her my PC. She my partner in Christ, Sierra Phillips. She's going to come and give us a quick check-in on what's happening with civic engagement this season and how our pastors can stay engaged. So let's welcome Sierra. I hope you dropped where you were from in the chat, but go ahead and put some claps in the chat for Sierra as she makes her way to the stage to share with us some civic engagement updates this season. Sierra, take it away.
Hello, hey everybody. So good to see you all. I am excited to join this fireside chat tonight. I already feel the warmth. I want to be close to the fire. Amen. Happy Clergy Appreciation Month to all who will celebrate. It is such a pleasure to be here with you all. And like Lady Thompson said, how precious are the feet of those who carry the word. And so we're so grateful for you. Now, where are we with civic engagement? We are 11 days away. That's right, just 11 days away from election day, and the power is in our hands. Now, what do we know? What's the connection here between clergy, church, and civic engagement? In our early days, in our early civil rights movement era, we know that a lot of assemblies would start in the church. The grassroots organizations gaining the right to vote, rallying about issues, just trying to seek representation. We know that it all started in the church. And so, clergy, you've been called with a unique role and you have the ear of your community. How special is that? And so, what can you do with that? You can influence and encourage your congregations to be civically engaged, to make sure their voices are heard at the polls. Early voting has started, as we know, and it goes through November 1st. Make sure you know where your early voting areas are. Make sure that you have a plan to vote if you have not already. And if you have already voted, let me stop. And if you've already voted, let me clap for you because you've done it. You did your early voting. But can you take 3 other people with you? Who else needs to vote on your block? Who else needs to vote in your circle? Do they have a plan to vote? Is there somebody that's waiting for a ride? How can you be of assistance? Is there a first-time voter who does not understand the ballot? Could you print the ballot and go over it with them? There are several ways to be civically engaged right on your block, on your street, and in your circle. So, again, make sure you exercise your right to vote early. We are already seeing unprecedented numbers. And so shout out to everyone doing the groundwork and being civically engaged and involved and helping everyone get to the polls. This is just such an amazing time. We have 11 days, and I know that feels very fast to me. So do all you can to get involved. We thank you, clergy, for all that you have done thus far, and we look forward to partnering with you all again. Taking it back over to you, Lady T. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Yes, thank you so much, Sierra. We appreciate you putting the funk, the fire, and the noise behind our leadership, our clergy, our trusted voices, as they have how many days left?
11. Just 11.
11 days. So, pastors, this Sunday, it's on. It's your Sunday. To make it plain, as they say, to make it plain in the pulpit. Sierra, thank you so much. We appreciate you and all the work that you're doing. My PC, my partner in Christ. All right. Thank you, Sierra. Have a blessed night. All right, everybody. So thank you so much for continuing to jump on and come in. We are so excited to have you again. This is interactive tonight, so use the chat feature. Okay, woo! You might see your comment on the screen. I'm just saying, but use the chat feature. Let us know where you are joining us from. If you hear something that just resonates with you from Dr. Meag-gan, go ahead and drop them hand claps, raise some hands in the chat. Because she is going to spit that fire tonight. I'm saying this fireside chat is going to be amazing. So, without further ado, we're going to move forward with our program, and we are going to invite to the stage none other than Dr. Meag-gan O'Reilly. She is, we claim her, okay? She is our therapist, okay? She's our doctor. We love her so much. But I do want to make sure all of our clergy understand that are on this line tonight. This is for you, number one. But number two, this is a safe space. So we're going to do some interactive chats tonight. They'll be anonymous. So if you want to leave some comments, we won't know who said it in this interactive chat tonight. But this is a time for you to be able to release, renew, and reclaim this topic around self-care. So let's welcome to the stage. Go ahead and drop those hand claps in the chat. Let's welcome to the stage none other than Dr. Meag-gan.
Oh my goodness.
There's Dr. Meag-gan.
It's so good to be back.
I know. It's October. It came so fast.
So quick.
It did. Thank you so much. I appreciate you joining us tonight and speaking from the heart to the hearts of our pastors around this topic of self-care. And so we want you to tell us who you are. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll dive right into this fireside chat. I'm going to grab my beverage and be ready to go.
Yes, let's get cooking. But first, I just got to say what a blessing it is to be here with you all. Back again this year. This will be a safe space. And I'm so much deep gratitude to Lady T and the team. And so who am I? Well, I was thinking about giving you my resume self, all the titles and the work I've done. But you can find that by Googling my name online, right? Or looking at the website. I think how I would like to introduce myself to you all today is by first saying I'm a child of God, first and foremost, right? I'm a Black woman, from the Caribbean is my lineage, and I'm a healer, much like you all, right? My training is in psychology and therapy, but we know what it's like to hold and walk people through their joys and their sorrows. And the load of a healer is heavy, right? And so that's how I want to introduce myself to you all today. I'm zooming into you from California, Bay Area, and I really hope that we can co-create a space to kind of slow down for once, check in, and leave with some gems, with a few tools and new precedents that we can set within ourselves and in our relationship. So with that, I'm ready to get going. We have a interesting exercise for you. Now, this is something that I love doing because you'll see the difference between these two ways of checking in. So I'm going to ask y'all, whether you're online or in the room, I want you to turn to someone on your right, let's say, and give them your okey doke answer to how are you doing, right? We ask each other that all the time. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Right? Your okey doke answer, you might know it by a different name. This is what my family called it. Your okey doke is that stock rote answer that you just tell everybody. It's very surface. Mine is usually fine, never better, hanging in, blessed and highly favored. And that may be true. But I want you to turn to someone on your right or drop in the chat. What is your okey doke? What do you just tell people just as a social convention? Go ahead. Think about it. You good? You good? I'm good. Fine. Can't complain.
Mine is fine, Dr. Meag-gan. I'm just saying.
Yours is fine.
I'm fine. And I'm on fire in the inside, but I'm fine. That's my okey doke. That's my okey doke.
Said with enthusiasm. Once you've locked in your okey doke.
Let's see. I've got one here. Here we go.
Sierra says, without even thinking. That's the okey doke. Doing well. It's so automatic. It's actually automatized. Like we could do it in our sleep. And and sometimes people ask us while they're walking past us. So even if we wanted to answer, they're already out of earshot, right? So this is the okey doke. And good. And how are you? I love the ones that pass it right on back. Get the tension off me and right back to whoever you're talking to. Yep. These are really good okey dokes. Amazing. Yep. Whether or not that's true. And you know what? We're going to find out today that you can have two emotions at the same time. And neither one is either more important, and you don't actually have to choose. So you can be grateful and grieving at the same time. You can be joyful and sad at the same time, right? You can be excited and nervous at the exact same time. So our emotions can come in very interesting combinations. All right, that's the okey doke. Turn to the person next of you, to the left this time, or drop in the chat. How are you really doing? So beyond the okey doke, spelunk past the surface, and actually think about this week. What are you holding? What has occurred? What has happened to you? What have you metabolized without even noticing? The literature says, and I've witnessed in my own practice, that we as Black folks tend to be alexithymic. Ooh, what's that, Dr. Meag-gan? Well, it's a long word with an X and a Y in it that just means we lack an emotional vocabulary. We can be eloquent. We can give word. But when it comes to how we're doing, we freeze up. So on the screen, you can see one of my favorite emotion word lists. It gives you a lot of different categories. And at the bottom, it gives you physiological sensations. Why would we need that? Well, folks from the African diaspora also somaticize our pain, y'all. That's another way to say what we don't express, we process physically. What we don't express, the body keeps the score. So you might feel sweaty. You might feel tensed or clenched or pressure, right? And for the male identified folks in the room, wow is right. For the Black males in the room, brothers, you have an additional layer that might be suppressing your emotional vocabulary because you're men. And you're often taught in masculinity that feeling's not something you do. So before you label a word, an emotion word, you might notice a bodily sensation. How many of us are feeling drained, or queasy, or sore, right? Or stiff, right? Or tight. So check these two things out. Give yourself a minute, because a lot of today is about actually giving yourself the time and spaciousness to become cognizant of your own process. When you have your word or your sensation, turn to the person in the right, drop it in the chat, and give them your best guess on how you're really doing. And then we'll look at those differences. I guarantee you it's not going to be fine or amazing. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Here are some things to think about. Tired, long eye tired, right? That's the bone marrow tired. Have you slept well in the last couple of days? Have you had 8 hours of sleep? Have you fueled your body with 3 meals a day? Have you gotten any sunlight? Some of y'all sleep on this one. With melanated skin, we actually need longer in the sun to really absorb that vitamin D, right? And have you shared openly with one other human about something important to you? These are some of the things that we skimp on, that we cut out to make more time for others, right? So if these things aren't happening, you're probably going to be feeling heavy, tired, tight. Mm-hmm. Frazzled. Oh, good. You shared it with your bestie. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Sierra. Okay. When you are giving your okie doke to each other, and now that you know about this, when you hear someone else's okie doke, I invite you, I implore you to slow down and ask them how they're really doing. Compact with each other today. In the room, if you're gathered, and find someone in the chat to say, when I hear your okie doke again, I'm going to pause you and ask you again so we can actually connect. Because if we practice false connection all day, we're not going to get the replenishment we need. Mm-hmm.
Wow. I told you. What did I say? I told you. Make sure you are writing these things down. This is good. And thank you so much, Dr. Meag-gan, for that run through of asking ourselves, how are we really doing? And I'm guilty of saying, girl, I'm fine. Mm-hmm. With the house on fire, the car on fire, the children on fire. But hey, I'm fine, is my okie doke answer. Mm-hmm. And now I'll be even tuned even more to listen for other okie doke answers as well. And call them out and be like, sis, bruh, that I know that's not true.
Don't give me that.
Don't give me. That's right, Dr. Meag-gan. Don't give me that. That's not right. So thank you so much for taking us through that moment of how are we really doing. I believe this will shape our conversation and discussion on tonight as we talk about rest, renew, and reclaiming ourselves as healers and as faith leaders and pastors and clergy. It's not always easy to do this. You know, it's not always easy to just say, well, I've got this, and this. But when you say it, it helps to get out to somebody who is really listening to you. So we're going to push on forward. Keep those thoughts in your mind, everybody. We will share this feelings list with you after this call so you can make sure that you have this and you can keep some emotions in your phone. Like when someone asks me, let me tell the truth about what's going on with me. So Dr. Meag-gan, let's move into this first question that we have received. What is self-care?
Let's get into it, right? And I love that you asked this question because it's starting at the top. And I think the name is a misnomer. I think what drives a lot of us away from self-care is the self part. We think it's selfish if we're taking care of ourself, but there is no self without other, right? There is no I without we. So I've slowly been trying to help people move from self-care to community care, or just replenishment, resourcing yourself. But what self-care is, I'll give you two definitions: the textbook one, and then one that I think resonates with our heart. It's a little bit more poetic. The textbook definition of self care is that self care is the intentional actions that you engage with and cultivate to maintain and improve your health in terms of mental health, emotional health, spiritual health, and physical health. All the domains, right? Really, there should be relational health on there too, right? So it's the intentional actions you engage in and cultivate to maintain all those pillars of wellness. That sounds lovely. Taking it below the chin, because I know there's some people intellectualizing their feelings away, right? I'm going to just explain it. Another way to understand self-care is that self-care is the place that I cultivate where I can love you and me at the same time. It's the place that I exist. It's the balance that I strike where I can love myself and others at the same time. Why that's important is we often think others always come first, and what's left, we might get some of it, right? But it's actually a coexistence of this type of love and support. Another way to think of it is self-care is creating a life that you don't have to regularly escape from. Ooh. I hope you feel seen and not drugged. You don't have to regular escape from. What does that mean? This might be for some of the younger generation, but it means I don't have to zone out to TV just to get a break, or I don't have to take a long vacation just to get away. It means that you've built a life that you want to be in now, right? And it's giving you what you need. Lastly, I'll say that self-care is an act of resistance politically. We don't have to get into that today, but it's also worship. When you take care of yourself, you're protecting and you're honoring and you're preserving the God that's in you, right? Your spiritual being, right? We protect what we love. So if you're not taking care of yourself, what are we saying, right? So it's the distance that I can love myself and you at the same time. It's creating a life I don't need to regularly escape from. And it's a form of spiritual worship, right? That's what I think self-care is. And if you want a deeper read, this book, Set Boundaries, Find Peace, is a great bibliotherapy for the bookworms in the room.
Awesome. Awesome, Dr. Meag-gan. Can somebody write this down? Type it in the chat. Like, I need this to copy and paste. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Dr. Meag-gan. Thank you, Sierra, for giving us these tidbits of Dr. Meag-gan Says, because these are, I believe that definition is a solid foundation on the why. It will surely help navigate us through these contentious times and
Very contentious.
that we are finding ourselves in right now. Thank you for helping us understand how we can manage or understand the why of self-care. That was amazing. Thank you. Thank you. So I want to just move a little bit forward and with another question. And in my research, Dr. Meag-gan, I found this, that nearly 2 in 5 pastors, which just breaks my heart, but 2 in 5 pastors have considered quitting full-time ministry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 2 in 5 pastors have considered quitting full-time ministry, according to a Barna research study. 38% indicate they have considered quitting full-time ministry in the past year.
Yeah.
38%. That's a big number. considering this is something that you've been called to, but now you are ready to quit. So, what I would like to do is take a quick litmus test with our audience tonight, with our pastors that are online and in person tonight. I want to do a quick litmus test. So,
Mhm.
on the screen, you will have a QR code. If you are in person, you have on the back of your program a QR code. And we have some of our Fair Count team members. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Sierra, who will drop the link in the chat for you to answer our first interactive question.
Mhm.
Remember again, this is a safe space. This is anonymous. So you don't even have to um, put in your name or your email or anything like that. It will
Mhm.
give us kind of an outlook and a way to know how you feeling, how you're doing. Have you thought about um, leaving full-time ministry? So you'll find that in the chat. I will put it on the screen as well.
Mhm.
There's the QR code there. If you are in the room, you have a card that you can scan this first QR code for question number 1. And Dr. Megan, would you read that question for us?
Yes. Question number 1. Have you given real consideration to quitting being in full-time ministry within the past year? I know it's been going fast, but this is still 2024. So January until now. Yes, no, sometimes. Center in. Just be honest. It's anonymous. Have you given it thought? And as people are reflecting and answering, I want everyone in the room to know that you can love something and still get burned out by it.
Mm.
Sometimes we don't acknowledge that we're holding a lot because we love the thing, right?
Mhm.
But you can love it and still consider leaving it because of the factors that are outside of the calling, right? The context, the financial woes, the long hours. There's things outside of the actual ministry that weigh in heavily. And sometimes when we don't know that we can be burnt out by what we love, we start solving the wrong problem, which is ourselves. We're like, oh, let me just lean in harder. Or this can't be so. It can be so. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow. Wow, it
Mm-hmm.
can't. So we'll tally those results and get some answers back to you for everybody who filled out the form. We hope you had a chance to just kind of give us your thoughts on have you considered quitting full-time ministry? So while we're waiting on those results and we'll get those results, Dr. Megan, I want to just pose this question.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think it's a really good one. But let me pose this question to you. And the one that we have is I am the pastor. How do I say I need help when I am helping people?
I know this. People are perking up because this is their question on their heart. Yep.
How do I say I need help when I am helping people?
Mm.
That's heavy and deep. Mm.
You know what? I'm going to answer it, but I'm going to give us this question is illuminating something that we think about help, right? This question is saying that we believe help is an arrow from me to you. I give you help, so how am I supposed to ask you for help? What if, y'all, what if I told you that help and support is actually a circle, not an arrow? Because if it's a unidirectional arrow, we're out of luck, right? Something taught us that, right? But I would love for us to redefine what help and support looks like. Sometimes I say, where do the pillar people lean? You're the pillar person, right? So we need to set a new precedent or start to set new expectations of each other and of our role, right? I feel this as a psychologist sometimes too. Like, don't you have the answers? Aren't you supposed to help? We also need help. So, how do we say it? Well, sometimes we don't actually have to use the word help. If that word is cringy, as the young people say, leave it out. You don't have to say help. You could say, I need your hand on this, or your presence would support me, or I could really use your expertise. right? Or the thing that is our bread and butter is the relational currency we have with each other, right? The relationship. So sometimes we can say, if you were feeling like how I'm feeling now, it would be time for help, right? So can I get some? Or I want you to know that now is the time where I could use some people pulling up, right? So think about what language feels comfortable to you, because if it doesn't feel comfortable, you're not likely to say it. Think about what language would fall well for you, and then practice saying that to people, right? I also like teaching people that, start with low hanging fruit, right? If you think someone is going to be shocked by you asking for help, which is a side effect of the okey doke, right? If you're always fine and amazing, and then all of a sudden you need big help, they're gonna be like, oh, I thought you always had it together. No one always has it together, right? At all together all the time. So start with low hanging fruit. Say, I didn't sleep well last night. Or, yeah, this is the financial situation's getting harder, right? Letting people in to the smaller pieces or a little bit of the big things in your life primes them to make spaciousness for you. A lot of you gathered today have always been the one who didn't take up space. If you start displacing some of that, you'll be amazed and hopefully comforted by how many people can actually lift you. We rob people of the chance of supporting us when we never allow them to. So start making some allowances. See who can afford it. I hope that helps. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Wow, Dr.
Mm-hmm.
Meg. Yes, it's helping us. It really,
Mm-hmm.
really is. Wow. To all of our pastors that are on the line, and this may be you. I really need help, but I don't know how. Start making allowances. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
this is good, Dr. Megan. You're helping us kind of make it an easy transition
Yeah.
into being able to manage some self-care for us, and we are very grateful.
Mm.
Um, very, very grateful. So now, if this is helping you, let's just do this. Let's practice in the chat again. If this is helping you, go ahead and lift those hands high. Send some claps into the chat. If this is resonating with you and landing well with you, as Dr. Megan says,
Mm-hmm.
um, then let us know. Let us know how this is resonating with you, with us.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Dr. Megan, the next thing I want to kind of move into, you touched a little bit on burnout
Mm-hmm.
just a moment ago, but I would love for you to kind of unpack the impact of stress and burnout on ministry.
Mm.
Um, what does that look like, and how can we identify it? How can we just identify some of those stressors and burnout of
Mhm,
ministry?
mhm. Yes. Now, this is a great question because some of us have been burnt out for so long, have been scorched for so long that it's hard to recognize anymore. Um, but stress can look different for every individual. It's a little unique to you, like your fingerprint, but there are some hallmarks. So let me tell you what the hallmarks are so you can be on the lookout, the compassionate lookout for yourself and others. So, when you're dealing with chronic stress, like we have been for several years now, but palpably this year, there's a couple things to look forward to. And I like to think of them in three different domains. One is cognitive, what your thoughts are sounding like, one is emotional, and then the other is physical, right? So, I'll just use myself as example. When I'm starting to get stressed, my cognition goes from pretty chill and optimistic to critical and pessimistic, right? I'll agonize over an email. I might be short with other people. I'll be, critical of myself, right? And so I notice this shift where I start hyper focusing on things. I feel pressured. I feel fragmented. And so, using yourself as a baseline, have you noticed any shift in how you're thinking about yourself, how you're thinking about others, how you're thinking about the future? Is there a little cloud that has moved in front of the sun, so to speak? Things are looking a little dreary or unhopeful. Those are things to be on the lookout for. Emotionally is a big one, right? Because we live in our thoughts so much that we might not notice it. But emotionally, thinking about how you are noticing what you're saying, uh, the tone of your mood when you're not around people. Because when we're around others, we get into go mode. And hopefully, we're still energized by others. But in those silent spaces, in those silent times before bed, what are we feeling, right? Do we feel stuck? Do we feel like we're failing? Do we feel like there's just never enough time? Some of those are the chronic emotions of stress, right? Do we feel isolated? Also, emotionally, is sometimes when we are trying to make safety our control, we might start getting a little controlling of others and how they're doing things. So maybe some micromanaging or oversight that doesn't feel good to colleagues or even family members. So if you're getting that feedback from others that love you and know you well, it might be time to think, oh, I'm getting pulled out of my alignment, out of my value set, how I like to show up, because stress is running in hard on me, right? And then lastly, physically. This one concerns me the most because stress is a public health issue now. It's starting to erode us. So physically might be take the longest to notice, but are you sleepless? Are you getting migraines? Are you grinding your teeth? Are you having GI kind of digestive issues? Are you having migraines? My mom was a migraine person. Are you, is your muscles tight? That's why we looked at those body sensations. If you're noticing physiological symptoms, it's time to intervene, right? Because the backlog of the stress is starting to manifest in the body, right? It's time to get that checkup and to really think about what is on my plate that I can either delegate, elongate, so give myself more time to get it done, or get more hands on deck, because you do not deserve to be chronically stressed. It's not your best self, nor is it the self you want to give to others. Everybody is impacted when you're not well, right? Your wellness is a ripple, and that first drop is you. And that's why it really matters to protect and preserve yourself. Mm-hmm.
I mean, can somebody cash app Dr. Meag-gan $20? Because listen, that right there, when you said that if we're out of line, I don't even know. Sierra, can you put that in the chat? Because
it's really important, because we come from a self-sacrificial model, right, of love. And sometimes I really harp on this point to convince people of why it's so important, because it's not just a victimless crime, right? When you're unwell, it shows up, and we need you to be well. You deserve to be well. It's actually a birthright. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to wait for it. It's a birthright. It comes with admission to this existence. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah. Wow, Dr. Meag-gan. I don't. Sierra, I'm gonna need you to come in and take over, because I am. Wow. Okay, so let me try to pull myself back together here, because Dr. Meag-gan, thank you. I mean, we are, I think, just soaking this in like a sponge, and it's doing what it's designed to do. It really is. So I want to take a moment and just pause real quick and just see if there are any questions from anybody. If anybody has any questions or comments, is this helping you? Is it landing well? I'm learning that my language from Dr. Meag-gan. Is it landing well with you on tonight? Are there any questions that you want us to kind of tackle in our time together? This is just good. I don't know. Everybody may just be like me, and I'm overwhelmed. Let me get off the screen. So Dr. Meag-gan, we're going to move toward a commercial break. But y'all saying we got a commercial break? Yes, we do got That's right. We have a whole commercial break, everybody. So stay with us. Don't go anywhere. You will hear a welcome and special announcement, a commercial break from our very own president, Dr. Janine Abrams McLean. She's going to come on and talk to you a little bit about the FAIR program and what it is. So don't go anywhere. Don't go get a break. Take a moment and hear from our president.
Hello, and happy Clergy Appreciation Month. I'm Dr. Janine Abrams McLean, president at Fair Count. We are happy to be here again in celebration of the dedicated and tireless work each of you do as members of the clergy. We want to say thank you, that we appreciate you, and you all need to stop right now and give yourselves a round of applause for the work that you've been doing. We all know that we've come this far by faith, traversing uncertainty and seeking stability in our world. We have suffered losses and been upended by challenges these last few years. But you've kept us encouraged, reminding us of the faithfulness of God and focused on the blessing of grace we receive daily. And for this, we are grateful. We know that kingdom building takes dedicated work, and it has been a blessing to do work with you in partnership through our Faith and Innovation Resources Program, or as we like to call it, the FAIR program. We've been encouraged by your resilience and the ways in which you've used this tool to flourish and extend into the experience of your congregations through communication management. So far, we've added 167 institutions to our growing list of faith-based organizations throughout Georgia and 11 other states. These congregations have been able to prosper and build through the pandemic and beyond, taking advantage of these resources and tools to recover and grow the faith community. So if you have not taken advantage of this opportunity, we invite you to do so now. If part of your vision includes making membership enrollment easy, financial tracking tools simple, and communicating from the palm of your hand, look no further. You found the winning formula. It's preparation plus organization plus communication with our winning formula, and that equals our FAIR program. At absolutely no cost to you, your church will receive one streamlined app, the Faith app, which is a commercially available church management software, along with 1 year of complimentary tech support. Additionally, you gain access to exclusive resources and tools to show you our appreciation for all that you do. Wouldn't it be great to have your faith institution obtain one of the most secure and trustworthy church management software tools available? Join us this Clergy Appreciation Month for an opportunity to learn more and sign up by visiting us online at www.faircount.org/fair-program or by reaching out to our FAIR program management team at faith@faircount.org. Let's continue to work together to expand the impact of the faith community with our good works by sharing the good news. Again, we appreciate your service and all that you do in partnership with the community and with us. We're excited about all of the opportunities we will have to connect with you this month, and we wish you a wonderfully blessed Clergy Appreciation Month. We'll see you soon.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Janine. We appreciate you coming on and helping us tonight talk about the FAIR program. Woo! So as you heard, we have free church management software, free technology help for you for a year with that software, and we get to give it away, sow it, gift it into the life of the church, and we are excited about that. So what we want to know is, are you ready to sign up? Yes, I know you are. Woo! So this is what we want to do. We're going to drop in the chat the opportunity for you to sign up or let us know that you're interested. We're going to pull up a QR code. If you're in person and you have your program, go ahead and scan QR code number 2. Our team is going to drop in the chat the link for you to go ahead and let us know where you are, or if you want to join the FAIR program and sign up. And it's on the screen right now. So you can scan this QR code and go ahead and let us know that your faith institution is ready to join the FAIR program. Faith and Innovation Resources Program is where we give away free church management software, and our president so eloquently gave us the formula. Okay, the formula, and we help you with that. So anybody that wants to sign up, go ahead now, click on that link that's in the chat, scan that second QR code, and a shout out to all of our pastors who have already signed up. Woo! Yay! That's right, Pastor Jackson, you are signed up. Thank you so much for being a intricate part of the FAIR program. Let's see. Dr. Pitts says she's ready. Woo! Thank you, Dr. Pitts. We are ready for you. Dr. Pitts is watching us from Mississippi tonight. So thank you so much for joining us tonight, Pastor. We are so excited to have you with us. Sierra says, are you ready for this church management software? And yes, we know you are. So thank you so much. We appreciate you. And thank you so much for joining us tonight. So go ahead and click on that link in the chat, scan your QR code, and we will connect with you. Sierra and I are sitting on ready to get you and your church signed up. So thank you so much. Dr. Meag-gan, we're back. Thank you for that commercial break. Woo-woo. And so I want to move into this question because this was sent in by one of our clergy. And this question says, I work and then I work. Help, I'm a bivocational pastor. And in the UMC world, I'll tell you, that means you're a part-time local, right? In the United Methodist Church, you are considered a part-time local, being a bivocational pastor. But anyone who carries the name part-time local understands that it is definitely a full-time job. Okay. You do not say, okay, I'll get back to you after I get off my job. You do not, you don't go home when you get off of work, you're going to visit. You've got Bible study. I am a bivocational pastor. Help me understand how I can fit in that self-care into this calendar. I work and then I work.
Ooh, this one's a real one. And it's illuminating the biggest barrier that a lot of us have. This person, these people in this situation, doubly so. But the biggest barrier a lot of us have is time, right? We can't make a 25th hour in a 24-hour day, right? So if you're in this boat, bivocational or otherwise, and time is your biggest barrier, I would like to invite us to think about how time can be manipulated and multi-purposed. This is something I learned in grad school and beyond. And if anyone's parents in the room, we know how to do more than one thing at one time. So sticking with this, I work and then I work. Your most important work, let me just redefine productivity. Your most important work is preserving yourself. Your grandest quest is you. Right? And so I'm just trying to prioritize that in our mind a little bit. So this is what it can look like tangibly. I like to talk about the morning, midday, and early evening. Okay. If we can inject small things, I'm talking 5 to 10 minutes worth of respite, relief, or engagement, connection, that can go a long way, right? The literature says just 5 minutes of something replenishing can offset some of that chronic stress that's building up that we talked about. So what can we do in the morning? Maybe quiet time, maybe some prayer, maybe some journaling. What can we do at mealtime? Because remember, we're stopping for lunch, right? We're eating food, right? So maybe build it in around the mealtime. And then in the evening, being able to review the day, process what happened, doing another pause to center yourself, right? 5 minutes. So that's 15 minutes a day, 5 in the morning, 5 in the middle, 5 in the evening. And I'm with y'all. Someone sent me a 17-minute meditation. And I was like, 17 minutes? I ain't got time for that. And that can feel like a long time. But what is longer is how we'll feel if we don't do it, right? Having to leave our positions that we care about, having long stays in the hospital. Sometimes the only door we hear knocking is death's door. And I don't mean that frivolously, right? What we're talking about here is under the soft name of self-care, but it's really bigger than that. It's really self-preservation and health care, right? So you can be around for yourself and your communities longer. So I would say start small and build a practice. Another thing we misunderstand about self-care is we think they have to be these long-winded, big overtures. They actually don't. Self-care ought to be treated like hydration instead of thirst, right? When you're thirsty, you need a lot to quench it, right? But hydration is just little amounts along the way to keep you hydrated and satiated. So in the car to your second location, can there be a podcast or some music you like? Or can you call that friend, hands-free, drive safe, for that connection? So respite, can I take a mental break or a physical nap? Respite, connection, and then engagement. This is something you actually enjoy, right? If we do all the have tos and none of the get tos, we're going to get off. So try to reclaim and remember, what are the things I enjoy? Is it drawing? Is it cycling? Is it Legos? I've been learning a lot about people having these different hobbies. There's no wrong way to experience joy, and refurbishing that in a small, time-limited manner will actually help you build a larger practice and have a desire to do it when there is more time. Okay. I hope that lands well for those bivocational pastors. Mm-hmm.
Wow. That lands well for the full-time pastors
Mm-hmm.
as well. Dr. Meag-gan, what a gem and a jewel. This is the 555.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This is really good. Are there any comments that anybody want to share? We'll take a moment, because that really is where a lot of our clergy, where they are in this bivocational space. And sometimes you don't even really think about that the most important work is you.
Mm-hmm.
You work for the Creator, but you are that most important work.
Mm-hmm.
That is resonating with me. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. We will answer those for you, and get those to Dr. Meag-gan, our expert. If this has been good to you, go ahead and put your hands, put your claps, your snaps, your your smiley faces, whatever you want to in the chat, your hearts, because Dr. Meag-gan is definitely speaking from her heart, as I told you that she would. So I want to shift just a moment before we kind of wrap our time up, Dr. Meag-gan. We just want to wrap you up, keep you all night. It doesn't even feel like we've been on a long time, but this has just been so good for us. In our time earlier this year, I think in April, we came together and we did a segment called "Is There a Doctor in the House?" A self-care checkup, self-care tune-up. And one of the things that resonated with me that I think we can highlight during our conversation here tonight is you asked us a question, and none of us could kind of answer, but
what was it?
That question was around role models.
Oh.
What are we modeling to others? And so if you would just touch a little bit on that, and then we will kind of wrap up our time, even though we don't want to, but we may wrap up our time around this discussion here about role modeling.
Yes, I'm going to linger because I cannot believe we must be having fun because time is flying. I'm going to linger and be luxurious with this one, but it's a good one. And I will try to draw in why it's so important. So I do remember asking y'all, who are your self-care role models, right? And when we think of role modeling, we think of sports or, education, these exemplar people, which is great. But how we emotionally regulate, whether we do it or not, has a lot to do with our upbringing, and who around us when we were young and now is modeling that it's okay to do so. Who is signing our permission slip, if we even have one to begin with, right? So the idea of a self-care role model is, think about who brought you up, who's in your circle and tribe now, and are they engaging in self-preservation, community care, uh, acknowledging their own humanity in a way that allows you to do the same? Because if everyone is going without, you will pick up that that's how the job is done, right? You might have to be the trailblazer in the space that says, hey, I actually didn't get that done. Or, hey, I can't go this time, but keep calling me maybe next time, right? And as we collectively shift the culture or shift the expectations and redefine what it means to be a healer and a pastor and someone who is in this work, it will also change how we're received and how much space we can take up. So I know my emotional role model was my mom, lieutenant colonel in the military, immigrant. There's a lot of strength, and there was a lot of don't let them see us tripping, right? And I absorbed that, and I had to learn how to let people in, right? How to let them know that it's not all right, and how to request and ask for more support. It's a journey, but I gotta tell you, the further I go on it, the more I receive, right? Now, giving, you become a better giver when you know how to receive. You become a better provider of whatever you're doing when you know how to receive. And if you haven't received in a while, it starts to become transactional, right? You got to be on the receiving end to keep it robust, to keep it authentic, to keep it honest, and to keep you well, right? Yeah, I think that's what I really want to say. Mm-hmm. And oh yes, you are going to be a role model for somebody else too. There's people, youngins, watching you. So what do we want to pass down when we become the oldies? Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
And wow. I mean, never even thought about it like that. And when we talked about it before, it was a quick or a real aha moment for me. Like, what am I showing others? And how and who am I picking up from, or who did I pick up from? And then what am I displaying for others who are watching me? Because there are times that everybody, of course, is being watched, totally being watched. Um, and so now I want to kind of move because, like I said, we've been together for a little while tonight, and we do want to make sure that we honor our time tonight. But I wanted to touch on this. There are two more things, and then we will shut down our time. But we want you to kind of help us walk through this pastoral journey that our clergy and our pastors are on. Sometimes the walk of being a pastor is alone, or afraid to express your needs, to ask for help. Because of course all of our pastors wear this S on their chest with the cape, and they run into the telephone booth and come back out, and they do all of this stuff. But there are some clergy who lack a support system. And many pastors serve in under-resourced churches and communities, leading to a lack of pastoral care to take care of themselves. What suggestions do you have to build a self-care circle?
This is huge because we all need one. We all need one. And I just want to acknowledge anyone gathered or watching later that this can be quite painful. One of the hardest human experiences is isolation and rejection, because we are hardwired to connect. It's in us. We need tribe, we need community, we need reflection, and we need relation. So if you're in this boat, My heart is going out to you. I'm sending you extra strength and stamina for the path ahead. But I also want to grant you permission to start cultivating this self care circle. How do we do that? Well, one thing that we can think about kind of outside the box is that these members of this new circle do not have to be physically present. One thing that the pandemic taught us is how to maintain ties when we can no longer convene, right? So I want us to think a little tech savvy, and think about what mediums can I refurbish with people, right? Even if they're not physically there. People who are a little bit more remote, where is your community? Did you have to move away? How can you keep those ties? And what regularity can you bring to that? Because we know life will be lifing and time will be flying, but is it every third Friday? One thing I like to do is I try to call my friends once a month on their birth date. So let's say someone's born December 15th. I call them January 15th, February 15th, all the way, and eventually I'll be calling on their birthday. So what routine or regularity can you make with your non-proximal friends? That's one that you already have. But building new tribe can be very hard. It requires a little vulnerability. It requires making the effort more than once. And it also requires discernment. What do I mean by that? Not everyone you come across will be someone you want to draft onto your self-care team. And that's okay, right? This isn't judgment, it's discernment. What I mean by that is don't stop prematurely if you come across someone and they either can't hold it, don't want to hold it, don't know how to hold you, or doesn't seem consistent. Keep looking, right? And how do you look? Well, you start with something that isn't too heavy, isn't too vulnerable, and you see how they manage it, right? If they listened and held it and asked questions and followed up, maybe they have the emotional capacity for medium hanging fruit, and then your high hanging fruit, right? So for me, some low hanging fruit would be, maybe I'm struggling with something at work, or something new just came in my lap and I'm not quite sure if I'm equipped to deal with it. Maybe there's some imposter syndrome on board. Can they hold that? Okay. The medium hanging fruit would be maybe I have a health something I'm dealing with. And then the highest is what's really bothering me. Can I slowly promote people into deeper levels of intimacy? And that will help us gradually, safely build our tribe in a way that feels affirming and steady. Okay. So they don't have to be near you. Promote them into deeper levels by giving them smaller tasks or smaller shares, and then build from there. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, and don't get discouraged in the beginning. Keep going. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Awesome, Dr. Megan. Thank you. I love the fact that we can call someone on their birthday every month. Like I'm pulling that out. Like
Nice.
I'm pulling that out. But I understand that that self-care circle is so important. Even for our pastoral leadership, but for our just individual selves, as we try to as lay members of churches and laity walking alongside pastors, it's this self-care circle. And helping our pastors understand when they don't have that circle, that they need to have that circle. So all of my laity and lay members, non-clergy that are listening, ask your pastor about their self-care circle. Who's in it? Because a lot of them will say I'm a loner. And in this walk that we are in, as faith leaders, it can be very lonely. It can be. And you don't have that time to let your hair down if that's what you have, or whatever, with somebody. It is a very lonely spot. So thank you so much for holding the hearts of our pastors tonight, because it is I've witnessed it, that it can be very isolating and feeling unsupported. in ministry. So we're getting down to the end, Dr. Meag-gan. Oh my
Say this
goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I did want to um allow our audience that's watching us tonight and will watch us again to answer our final interactive question tonight. I think this is helpful for you to understand. And we'll give some results because my team is tossing them to me. So I'm going to give you some results tonight as well. So this is our third and final interactive question for tonight. Again, it will be dropped in the chat. It is on your program. If you're in person at Mount Olive, it is on your program. And then I will add it as well to our screen tonight. Dr. Meag-gan, would you read our question for us?
Yes, I will. Do you currently use any of the services listed here below? Life coach, spiritual coach, therapist, woo woo, spiritual mentor, professional counselor, that's right, personal mentor, spiritual advisor, professional mentor, prefer not to say, are all of them. Do you currently use any of these services? I hope it's a big yes, but let's see.
Yes. So go ahead and respond to our final interactive question tonight. And while we're doing that, Dr. Meag-gan, we had a question in the chat from Berks Chapel United Methodist Church. Shout out to Berks Chapel. Woo woo. Thank you for joining us tonight. The question is, why do many people see elongation as not being productive?
That's so funny. I was just typing up my answer, but let's do it. Let's do it live. So
Okay,
earlier I talked about delegation, elongation, or all hands on deck, getting more help on dealing with burnout. Now, a lot of people might think elongation, giving yourself more time, moving the deadline, giving yourself more time to get it done, is not productive. It is, but we might feel that in our environment because of hustle culture. A lot of us have subconsciously subscribed that if something is going to be productive or well done or efficient, it needs to be done quickly, right? But speed, the variable of speed, is impacted by the magnitude of work you have. So if you have one thing, you can turn it out, hotcakes. If you have two things, okay, 3, maybe 4. As you keep adding numbers of projects or items or things or places you need to be, the time variable ought to, in a more humane system, elongate. But everyone's just seeing you as your role, and they're only thinking about what they wanted from you. So where is it, right? They're not looking at the whole constellation of work on your plate. So sometimes we breathe in that smog and start to think it all needs to get done now. And it can't. If we walk away with nothing today, let it be that we are not machines. We are spiritual, biological beings, and we need a homeostasis of a lot of things. It's blood sugar, temperature, mood, all these things. So we cannot serially process like the demand might make us believe we should, right? So elongation is a valuable way to get things done in a way that's more humane and over time. And sometimes you have to communicate that to people. Like, it's getting done, but here's the new horizon of when you can expect it.
Wow. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Meag-gan. The hustle culture. We're gonna have to yeah, we're gonna need to talk about that one. Definitely not me. I mean, it's definitely not me. Not me.
Okay.
So let me give out some of our stats as we get our final question answered. From our question number 1 was, have you thought about walking away from full-time ministry? 50% of the people said, heck yeah.
Half.
Yeah. And 50% of them said no, they have not. They're in a good space. So right. We celebrate that part, but we also hold in our heart, as you have said, those who have said, yes, I have definitely considered walking away from full-time ministry. We did have Reverend Pitts from Clarksdale, Mississippi, woo, who went ahead and signed her congregation up for the fair program. Woo, woo. Thank you so much, Dr. Pitts. We appreciate you. Welcome aboard. All of our existing fair program churches that are out there welcome you to our fair program. So thank you so much. This is great. Thank you, and we'll wrap up our final. I'll give you our final statistics on that last question. But before we walk away, Dr. Meag-gan, I do have one final question. When something feels off, how do I, as clergy, identify the off? And when should I seek some help?
Oh, great question. When to seek help. On the off part, y'all already know. You don't need me to tell you. You actually don't. Sometimes when someone asks a question, they're not really asking the question. They're seeking validation or consolidation or permission. We all know when something's off, right? Spiritually, emotionally, physically. And all I'm going to say is trust it. Trust that, right? You know when something's off. You either, feel it or notice it, or someone else kind of lovingly shows you it. Heed that, right? Especially if it's your aligned tribe, right? So you do know. Lean into it. Attend to it. Where could this be coming from? When to ask for help, okay? It's time to seek professional support or any of those services that were just listed when you feel like the funk or the offness has been around for 2 or more weeks, right? That 14 days is a nice general cutoff of it's not a phase. Something is happening in your world and in your body that could remain if you don't intervene. So when the offness comes, heed it, trust it, you know what it is. And if it lasts for more than 2 weeks, look after it. Go get some checkup, right? And when you're reaching out to that therapist, be honest. Share what you need. Ask the questions. You will all get a 1-pager I created for you for how do I assess fit with a therapist before I start the work, so I can make the most of my limited and precious time, right? So know that this is you're worth every minute and every penny, and that's what I'd say about that.
You are worth every minute, every penny. You know when something feels off, trust it. Yes, Sierra. Yes. And I love the fact that you gave us kind of a time frame to look at this off that may be happening. It's not just a one-off thing, but this has been going on more than 14 days. Then it's time to seek some professional. And nothing is wrong with that. I'm so glad that we've gotten to a point where you see a little bit more of people accepting the fact that I need somebody. I mean, I have seen some of the top actors, actresses, pastors say, I have a therapist, I got this and I got that. And if I don't see them, something is off.
Simone Biles said it too. She was like, let me go talk to my therapist so I can crush this Olympics. Everybody.
Right. And that 14 day, I think, is key. Everybody write that down. 14 days, put that somewhere. Something is still going on with you for that time frame. Then you would definitely want to go and just, seek some advice. I'll go ahead, Dr. Meag-gan. I see.
The only exception is grief. All right. Grief will linger for more than 14 days, and that's appropriate. Your own grief or vicarious grief. I know y'all hold the hardship of others, right? So if there's any grief in your midst, it could be a loss of life, but it could also be the invisible griefs, right? I would say that's a good time to get that extra support as well. Grief is heavy. Don't lift it alone. That's a team lift. Bend the knees, get the back in the right position. Don't manage grief alone. You don't have to.
Okay, we're gonna need a whole prayer tonight, offering plate pass, because Dr. Meag-gan, that right there, those 2 or 3 sentences right there at the end, where you said grief is a team lift.
Yes. Yes. every time, every time. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. Well, we are going to wrap up our time. Thank you, Dr. Meag-gan. You dropped so many gems. You dropped so many jewels.
Oh,
And we are just so grateful for you.
oh, thank
Our
you.
prayer is that God would replenish you as you
Mm,
pour out on so many others.
yes.
Tonight has just been wonderful, amazing. The conversation um, has been so helpful for so many that I know that are joining us tonight or will watch us later on. Grab your paper, make sure you write it down if you're watching us, because this is where we are. When Dr.
Mhm.
and I met earlier this year about what we would do in Clergy Appreciation Month with Dr. Meag-gan, she suggested that we talk about these contentious times that we are in right now, unprecedented times, and our pastors are having to hold so much, juggle so many things.
Mm.
And so we wanted to carve out a little bit of space to give you um, with all of the juggling, still something to hold on to.
Mhm.
Know the fact that uh you matter. I mean, like, really, you
Mhm.
are uh it's you. It's
Mhm.
you. And so
Mhm.
we wanted to leave that space for you tonight, and we're just grateful that you joined us. Dr. Meag-gan is
Of course.
just absolutely amazing, you all. Can we just put some love and some hearts and some hands?
It's an honor
Woo!
to be here. It's truly
Just
an honor. Yeah.
right in
Mhm.
this chat tonight, because she has definitely helped us kind of shape our thoughts and our minds, and what to hold and what can we put down during these times that we're in. We're in this 11-day stretch, you all, and we are dependent on everybody to um, make their voice heard.
Mm.
Everybody, depending on
See.
everybody.
Yes.
We're very thankful for our clergy. Thankful for Dr. Meag-gan. Thank you, Dr. Meag-gan,
Thank
from
you.
Rachel. Thank you so much. Burke's
You're
Chapel,
welcome.
wonderful. Thank you so much. I
You're
want to
welcome.
give you our follow up from our last question. We
Mm.
had people who said, I have a spiritual mentor, a personal mentor, a spiritual advisor. Somebody has all of the above, and that is wonderful that
Love
you
to
have
hear.
all of the above. And what we love to hear is that we've had 3 people to commit to vote.
Mm.
So thank you all for participating in that portion of civic engagement. We are very appreciative for you. And so tonight we will allow Dr. Meag-gan to give us any closing remarks that she would like to give us. You'll be able to connect with her. She created a one pager, which Sierra and I are so super excited about because we talked about this earlier. That says, getting ready to start therapy. Here's what you need to know.
Mhm.
And so we'll share that document with you. Thank you, Dr. Meag-gan, for curating that for us.
Yes.
It is well needed because we said, hey, we want to go, but what do we ask? What do we tell them? Like,
Mhm.
we sit on the sofa, I sit in the chair. Like, how do I find
Mhm.
somebody? So in that document, if you're in person, you already have a copy of that. Take that with you if you're already in person, but we will send out an email with that getting ready to start therapy. Here's what you need to know document. And she also gives you some recommendations of people
Yes.
that you can connect with, that she knows, she trusts. You'll be able to connect with them. So,
Mm.
Dr. Meag-gan, we want to open the floor back up to you. Thank you to all of our clergy for joining us. And Dr. Meag-gan, take it away.
Oh, wow. The gratitude is palpable. Thank you for your time and your presence and your energy. Closing remarks are always hard because there's still so much I want to say. And in that essence, I'll say this. May this be the start of an ongoing, lifelong conversation about how you recognize and honor your own humanity, right? Um, May this be the appetizer to continuing to discern, to seek, and to receive what you actually need. Because when you are balanced and filled up, then your best gifts can germinate and water and feed others, right? So thinking about your wellness and your self-care in those terms is the greatest priority, right? When you are well, you can water others. So connect with me, email questions. I love illuminating the path because we're all on it together. I'm just holding a lantern, illuminating what I figured out around me. There's so much expertise in the room, and together we will do this. We got. So I think the answer is us, and I think the answer is wellness, and I'm excited for what we can do together. Thank you again, and I'll be back again next year.
Woo! Thank you, Dr. Meag-gan. Oh my goodness. This has been excellent. This has been wonderful. We are so appreciative of you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We are looking forward to our time together. We'll have another session called Is There a Doctor in the House Part 2? Yes, that's right. And we'll be getting that annual checkup in to see how you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
How are you really doing? We will host that virtually next year, so you'll be able to get some more good checkup from Dr. Meag-gan. And if we need to write a few prescriptions, she is in that writing prescription game. Okay.
Permission.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Again, everybody, thank you so much. Happy Clergy Appreciation Month to all of our clergy. We hope that you will be celebrated this Clergy Appreciation Month. And I look forward to connecting with you all. Don't forget about the free gift this month. Tomorrow we will be in LaGrange, Georgia, in Troup County, celebrating with about 25 pastors with a lunch. So we are continuing to be with our pastors and continuing to shine a light, as you said, Dr. Meag-gan. Again, thank you, thank you, thank you. Be on the lookout for your email from that. Hey, I'm going to therapy. What do I need to do? How do I do it? That document is coming your way. Thank you again for joining us tonight. We love you. We thank you. We bless you. And we honor you. Have an amazing night. Again, happy Clergy Appreciation Month to everybody. Thanks for joining, y'all.
Be well. Bye, everybody.